Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Review, Season 4, Episode 5. So the show picks up where it left off the last episode with Jocelyn in that terrible ass wig and meeting up with Margot. She calls Margot, and Margot comes down there, and she's like, oh, I got a surprise call. Here comes Jocelyn. They sit down. Jocelyn, she wants to talk about the maid. And, of course, Margot, she's ready to talk about her, and they do a little small talk at first, and, Jocelyn's asking her how she likes Atlanta and everything, and she's like, oh, it's kind of slow, I have my life in New York, and Jocelyn's like, it'll get better, it'll pick up, you just got to get out, and, excuse me, y'all, and then Margot starts telling Jocelyn about, again, something I don't think none of us care about this damn sex tape, and that Mimi supposedly masterminded the sex tape and all that crap, and Jocelyn's act so like, I knew it, and just because she doesn't like Mimi, but she knows good and well that Mimi probably didn't mastermind that, but she's going to go with it if it's coming from, Nico's wife, because I guess that's supposed to be a reliable source. Moving along to the scene with Mimi and Tiffany Fox at the coffee shop. Mimi knows that she needs to give Tiffany an apology for the way that her showcase went when Stevie was all drunk and acting a fool and everything. So, before they meet up, they show her saying, Mimi, she needs to give me an apology and basically like a commitment, bring more professionalism if, we're supposed to be working together or whatever. So they sit down and Mimi does just that. She goes right to apologizing. Because Tiffany's like, if this is how it's going to be, I'm not with it. But she, Mimi kind of does a little convincing to her, and she's like, good, I need my track ASAP. I need this record ASAP. So, but then it was kind of weird, because if Mimi is supposed to have this management company, then to me, that should be her manager. She, to me, drops the bomb on Mimi and says that she already has a manager, a longtime manager that's had her back for all this time and everything. And Mimi basically tells her, give me a chance and I'll show you what I can do. And they're like, okay, that's cool. So moving on to the scene with Mama D and Ernest at the chicken wing place. Well, first of all, side note that that purple crap that she had on, I guess we're going to have to see that all season long, that shit that she's wearing in her confessionals. I can't stand it, but anyway, so Mama D, she starts talking about Erica and Scrappy and about the whole child support and everything, and then Ernest, he's like, Scrappy, he's grown, and he basically like let him deal with his own things. Let's work on us. So he talks about how they're in love, and then he wants to give Mama D something special, so he puts his promissory ring that he wants to give to her. Instead of just giving it to her, he drops it in some a red wine glass, and he's like, look, pay attention to your glass. He was trying to be sweet with it, but like Mama D said, that is ghetto as fuck. She said she gonna need him to come better than that shit, and I don't blame her, but she gets a little upset, like, what the fuck? And she's like saying, downing him for being in this chicken wing place doing all this, like she should been taken to a nicer restaurant and all that. But then she realizes that she kind of hurts her feelings, so she apologizes to Ernest, and she's like, what, give me the ring, I'm gonna wear it until times get better or whatever. But I literally laughed. That was probably my favorite part of the episode so far, because the way she said, that was ghetto as fuck or whatever, because I think that this seemed real to me, that scene. So I guess they're going to try to work on their relationship or whatever, even despite, everything they have in their past or whatever. So moving along to the Jocelyn and Carly Red's scene. They're at like a invitation place, bookstore, I don't know. Jocelyn, she's talking about her big wedding, how she's getting ready to throw this party, and Carly's like, but you're already married. And to me, it seemed like Jocelyn's like, oh yeah, you're right, but I think Jocelyn, I don't know. I don't think they're really married, and Jocelyn knows that this is gonna be their big wedding. This is gonna be the only wedding because they haven't had a wedding. So, but she's still trying to play it off like they are married, but whatever. She's like, yeah, we're having a big party, and Jocelyn, she tells Carly about the Margot meeting. And, of course, Carly, she's all ears. She wants to know what was said. And Jocelyn's like, well, just wait on it. And Carly's like, what? I was like, what, too? We just go ahead and tell her, because none of us care anyway. So then Carly tells Erica tells Jocelyn about Erica and Rashida and about the drama at the store, and Jocelyn, she lets Carly know, no, I'm not really cool with that Jessica 9-piece girl. A lot of people from my past, you know, they try to act like they know me. They don't really know me. And yeah, we weren't cool like, hey girl, you know, love you girl. We weren't cool like that. So basically lets her know, you know, if Jessica 9-piece tried to make it seem like that's what it was, that's not what it is, you know. She almost made it seem like, to me, like she was, you know, somebody from her past who halfway knew her, and she's just trying to get a little fame from saying that she knew her or something. I don't know. But anyway, moving on to the house scene, and Rashida. Rashida's there. Kirk is there at this house that he's building. Rashida pulls up. She pops up and she's like, what the hell? He's like, we're on lunch. And she's like, lunch break is over. We need to talk. So she's upset about him spending $32,000 in one day. And she says, you know, the joint accounts, they need joint discussions. Like, he shouldn't have spent that much money, you know, especially out of her money or whatever, without, you know, talking to her first. Which, Rashida, we go through this every season with you, and almost every scene too, where, you know, Kirk has just seemed to be doing whatever he want to do, and, you know, all she's doing is getting upset and letting it ride, it seems like. So, but in this scene, you know, she says that, you know, he's fucking with her store money. Like, she can't get her store because she's fucking it up. And, you know, he tells her, and then he drops another bomb, they're about $100,000 in the hole for this house. So she's like, you know, you need to sell your shit. You sell one of your cars, your bike, something like that to get the money you need. Because she's going to put a freeze on that account, supposedly. And Kirk, you know, he's all cocky and everything. He's like, you know, you could try, but, you know, that won't happen because it's a joint account. You can't put a freeze on it or whatever. Which is, he's probably right. So, moving along from that scene to the Jessica Dime and Mimi scene. It opens with her big ass, Jessica Dime's ass. I could appreciate that little shot because the camera was dead on her ass, y'all. And, you know, it's probably fake, whatever, but it was big and, you know, it was nice looking. So, anyway, Mimi, she says Jessica Dime, she could be an asset to her MF management or whatever. So, she says that she plans on signing her today. They're meeting up to talk or whatever. So, Jessica says is Stevie J going to be a part of this? And, you know, Mimi's like, I don't know what to tell you. He's in rehab right now, so I can't answer that. So, she's, Jessica Dime, she seems, you know, I guess alright with it still. She says she's ready to work. Mimi tells her about Tiffany Fox, and she basically tells Mimi, like, I'm the only one, you know, that you're going to have time for, and, you know, whatever, about Tiffany Fox. Jessica Dime says she's a full-time commitment. So, I didn't really appreciate that, because it's kind of like, who are you, you know, everybody knows, you know, producers or management companies, they have several artists, so I don't know who she thinks she is to just be put as number one or whatever right away, especially I mean, I'm surprised that Mimi didn't get an attitude back with her, or, you know, just kind of let her know off top. But anyway, Mimi, she tells Jessica Dimepiece the same thing that she told Tiffany, that kind of like, give me 3 months or whatever, give me some time, and if she doesn't fulfill it, you know, then they can move on or whatever. But Mimi is supposedly going to show both of these, Jessica Dime and Tiffany Fox, you know, her skills and what she can get done for them and all that stuff. So, moving along to the Mama D and Scrappy scene. Mama D, she tells Scrappy about her and Ernest. You know, she's like, she found love and all that crap. So, Scrappy, he seems very forgiving type of person. So, you know, he's like, what? But he's suspicious of it. But, you know, he's cool. He says, you're not going to have a problem with me. It's going to be, you know, his sister. Jasmine, I think her name was. He said he called her JJ or whatever. His sister is another story. That, you know, she hated Mama D not Mama D. She hated Ernest, you know, for the way he treated, you know, her mom. And, in this scene where Mama's talking to Scrappy, she makes sure to let Scrappy know, hey, look, basically I'm going to borrow your house, and we're going to have this big family party, and I'm going to let everybody know, you know, I got my man back, and we're going to work it out. And, you know, she wants to be a big, happy family, but we can see on the previews it's not going to go well. So I can't wait for that scene, because it seemed like, you know, it's going to get real. A Scrappy side note, he says, you know, I'm going to keep the alcohol and the weapons hidden, because I guess he can already expect some shit to go down. Moving on to the sports bar scene with Tony, Kirk, and Jock. Kirk, he says they're celebrating Tony's new little one. Okay, whatever. Tony tells Jock and Kirk about his issues, and they're all telling each other about their issues. Their wife beef, and Kirk tells them about Rashida. Jock tells them about the Cena thing. Tony tells them about the whole club and the issues with the money and trying to invest and wanting to make all the money with the club and all that stuff. So and Jock goes into detail about what happened with the Cena scene, and how she was Katie confronting him with the iPad because Cena had recorded him, all that stuff, and that he got his ass whooped or whatever, and she had him all tied up and she left him, but he said he loves her. And Tony and Kirk, they're like, you need to do something big to show you love her and to get her back. So I don't know what is he gonna have, like a little party for her or something, because they like to do that, like a I'm sorry party or something. Anyway, moving on to the Stevie J rehab scene. Oh my God, Faith Evans. I know she was there just kind of to promote her new song or whatever she's got going out, so I'm not mad at her for that. But I was kind of excited to see her. That I don't remember seeing her on the preview, so that was kind of a surprise to me. So I was just like, yes. So they started to talking, and Stevie tells us that she's an old friend and she's like a sister. And Faith, she says the same thing about him, and she's like, I got to check on you. Stevie J, he's feeling all special and everything. Stevie, he tells Faith about Jocelyn and about how she needs to stop smoking and drinking, and she's like agrees and everything, and he's like telling us reminding us his sobriety is at risk if she don't stop. And Stevie, he says he want to get back in the studio with her, so she's like, yeah, when you're done with this, come holler at us, we got some stuff to work on. I know you're not done with your whole music thing. She acknowledges his talent and everything, so she says she basically can't wait to work back with him. He starts playing on his guitar. I thought that was a good way to end that little scene, to show their actual talents, both of them. He can sing and play, and of course she could sing, and they did a little something. I thought it was real cute. Moving on to the and by side note for Stevie J, I kind of like Stevie J through all of his crap. He's a likable guy, even though he's he does a bunch of crazy stuff or whatever to his women and everything. But I want him to be out of that rehab already. I know it's only 30 days, so hopefully I think by the next episode he'll be out. But anyway, moving along to the Scrappy BAM, Scrap's little sister and her baby daddy scene. They're like eating or something, and they get on the subject of Mama D and her man Ernest, and Scrap's sister JJ. She's telling us, giving us her reasons why she doesn't care for Ernest. She says he got ulterior motives because Mama D got that song and everything, and that he's an opportunist. Sorry, y'all. And excuse me. And he's just around just to try to collect what he can. She says, who in their right mind would come back and talk back to somebody who put them to jail for so long, put them in prison, put them away for so long or whatever. So she's got her eye on him, and she doesn't trust him from the history that they have. So she's like, you know what, I'm glad we're having dinner, because I got a bone to pick with him. If there's some of this stuff, it's not resolved, it needs to be resolved. So, like I said, going into the next episode, I guess they're going to give us this scene, at Scrappy's house where some shit's about to go down, and, they're probably not going to be able to come to an agreement or whatever, which is kind of sad, because it's like, let Mama D be happy. If she's really happy with Ernest, whatever, just be happy for your mama. She's crazy, and if she's saying that, he's the only one that can control her or calm her and all that stuff, he might not be the worst thing for her. So, I mean, whatever. I think they make a cute little couple, Mama D and Ernest. But moving along to the Jocelyn salsa scene with Carly Red. They're dancing, and then all of a sudden we get this shot of this new girl, prima donna. Right away, to me, she gives me a lot of attitude, confidence. She seems like she's definitely a fighter. Like she's probably gonna get into a couple fights for sure. Jocelyn says she's cool, you know, and Jocelyn, you know how she's so picky about who she hangs with and stuff, so. But she says she's cool or whatever, and she's a business owner from Miami. You know, Jocelyn invites her to this little salsa dancing party thing or whatever. And then Jocelyn, they get to talking. They're all hanging out, and Jocelyn's like, I got a surprise for you, Carly. And Carly like, what? You know, here comes Margot. So this is a big surprise. I was hoping it would have been like, I don't know. I kind of think I was hoping it was going to be Benzino for some reason. I don't know. But, of course, it wasn't. I know that they got fired or whatever. But it's Margot or whatever, because Carly supposedly had jokingly told Jocelyn to invite Margot or something, and so she really did. And, you know, in this scene, it was all gravy. All of them seemed to be getting along, and, you know, everything was fine. Margot, she joins the party. Jocelyn, she introduces Margot. You know, she tells him a little bit about, you know, Nico. She says she's not in denial about Nico, but she didn't know to the extent what, you know, everything he was doing and stuff like that. So, Jocelyn says, she starts talking about Mimi, of course, and she's like, she's a dirty dog-ass bitch, you know, so she obviously still has some anger or hatred or whatever towards Mimi, and, you know, Jocelyn and Margot say, you know, Mimi's playing the victim, and she tells all of them in that little circle that, that Mimi supposedly masterminded the whole sex tape. And Carly and them they were like, oh, you know, like, and I'm just like, oh, who cares, you know, like, they had these all crazy, you know, these surprise reactions, and like, oh my God, and who cares, whatever, y'all know Mimi didn't do that, and even if she did, who cares? Moving along to the, Mimi Jazzy Face scene with Jessica Dime piece. You know, Mimi gets this, I guess, you know, meeting going with Jazzy Faye so he can meet Mimi's two artists or whatever. So they're talking, and she's telling him about Jessica. Jessica says, you know, she don't compare to nobody. Jazzy Faye asks him, who would you compare yourself to? And she's like, nobody. And he seems like he likes that answer, and so far so good. He likes her, whatever. You know, Jessica Dime. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Jessica Dime, she's happy to be in the studio. And then all of a sudden, here comes Tiffany. Excuse me. Jessica Dime, she instantly gets pissed as soon as she sees Tiffany. And Tiffany's reaction is like, hey, look, I was invited. Like, I don't have, you know, don't be mad at me. Look at, you know, I was invited to be here just like you were, so that's why I'm here. You know, Jessica starts talking about respect and all this crap, and Tiffany's like, what is the issue, you know? And Tiffany ends up calling her a bitch, and Dime, she's like, all right, you know, like, okay, bitch, okay. And then Tiffany's like, fuck this, bye. And I don't blame her, you know. Tiffany, she says, Mimi, I'm out, you know. And then here comes the kicker to the situation, you know. Jessica Dime piece, she didn't have any hesitation to not get fly or act a fool in front of this great producer. And to me, you need to take, you know, a responsibility for how you act. So, after, you know, Tiffany storms out, she's like, peace out, I ain't got time for this shit. Jazzy Faye tells Jessica Dime, you know, he's good. He's like, I'm good on you. Like, never mind. You know, so she got shit on her face at this point. Jessica Dime is kind of almost like, what? You know, like, oh, it's not okay for me to act a fool in your building, you know? And he's like, no, it's not okay for you to act a fool like that in here. You're being disrespectful, you know? He says, you know, you can excuse yourself. He's like, I don't want to work with you. And, you know, like I said, I was like, I was thinking to myself, hey, that's what she gets. That is what she gets, because she sat there and acted a fool. And you know, I like Jessica Dime piece. And, you know, I wanted to see her do well, or try to, you know, I wanted to see whatever she could do, to put it that way, with her music or whatever. But by acting like that and fucking off, you know, your relationships, you know, that quick and all that, hopefully she will have learned from that situation. Anyways, y'all, that was pretty much the show, my review, my thoughts about it. So, thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all next time.